Look the part, play the part. Yakko sponsors Vanarama National League on BT Sport.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Vanarama National League highlight show here on BT Sport. This week we've been at Plainmoor to watch Torquay United against Lincoln City. Two in-form sides led by two ambitious young managers. But before we see the best of the action from that match, here's what else has made the headlines this week.
The hot shots bring Tranmere's unbeaten start to an end. Forest Green go top after their 6th straight win. And Southport to Andy Bishop is the latest managerial casualty. We start at Plainmoor, where Lincoln City were looking for a 4th straight victory. Standing in their way, Torquay United, who were unbeaten at home this season. Your commentary comes from former Brighton and Celtic defender Adam Virgo and Steve Bauer.
They've made a positive start again here. Needs a challenge. It wasn't well timed. Galifuoco dived in and Craig Hicks had little option but to point to the spot. Giancarlo Galifuoco didn't get there. Penalty to Lincoln inside 2 minutes. Matt Reid, 4 goals in 5 games for him so far this season to give Lincoln a dream start. No problems whatsoever for last season's top scorer, as he gets the 5th of this season and gives the visitors the perfect beginning at Plainmoor. On from Brendan Moore, flicked onto Blissett, opportunity, and one that Nathan Blissett couldn't take for Torquay. He can't believe it.
Gets caught ball watching, gets caught underneath it. It's a massive opportunity there for Blissett.
Here's Marriott. Well, they had to be careful there. He's looking for Reid. Was he nudged in the back? Well, they had a case there, Lincoln. But Craig Hicks, the referee, unmoved.
It's really enough of a push in the back there.
Whipped in, good delivery as well. And it's gone in. And it's Galifuoco, the player who gave away the penalty inside 2 minutes, who's celebrating. Matt Reid is still down, but Torquay have made the set play count.
So it looks like it comes off Waterfall as the last touch.
Verma. Wood got the ball, might have hurt himself in doing so. That's the shot from Reid. That wasn't too far away from Jamie Reid, who's trying to score for the 3rd game running. Back now with Hawkridge. First touch for Bond. It was a neat one into Wood. Here's his 2nd and then 3rd. It's Bond. Oh, the goalkeeper didn't get there. And Torquay United will survive.
Great first touch. Keeper makes an absolute mash of that one. Matt Reid in and around there.
Woodyard. In from Habergam. Oh, look at that from Rowe Turner. Right place at the right time.
Great defending there from Rowe Turner.
Hawkridge. Lincoln not settling for a point here. Still Hawkridge. He's got support from Habergam. Didn't need it. In towards Reid! He's done it again. It's a late winner from Matt Reid for Lincoln to seal a 6th victory of the season. And a very satisfying start to life at Lincoln for Danny Cowley.
We've worked really hard on their physical fitness. You know, Lincoln City last year, I think on their second half performances alone would have ended up 23rd, and now we've won a lot of games now in the second half and the latter part of games. So that's real pleasing. That's credit to the players.
Tranmere Rovers arrived at the recreation ground having taken 19 points from a possible 21 this season and on a club record run of 15 away league matches without defeats. But Gary Brabbin's boys were up against an Aldershot side who have been in imperious form at home and it took them just 3 minutes to show why. Che Alexander with the cross, and Bernard Mensah in amongst the bodies to notch his 3rd goal of the season, all of which have come at the Rec. Aldershot were yet to concede a goal at home, and they were indebted to keeper Jake Cole for preserving that record. He saved from Connor Jennings. But the visitors did find the net 8 minutes before half-time. James Norwood finding his strike partner Andy Cook with a delicious delivery. His 4th goal in a Tranmere shirt had the game level at the break. A sudden downpour made conditions treacherous in the second half, and the game turned on a slip-up at the back by Tranmere. Substitute Iffy Allen with the run. Lewis Maynard dangled a leg, and Aldershot had a penalty with 11 minutes to play. The veteran Scott Rendell showed no sign of nerves, and the league leaders were behind once again. Moments later, Aldershot made the point safe and confirmed their best start to a season in 9 years. Will Evans, who joined from Eastleigh in the summer, won't forget his first Aldershot goal in a hurry. It ended Tranmere's unbeaten record, the last of its kind in the National League.
We shouldn't be too disappointed with today's performance. The result, yeah, but not the performance, because for a large chunk of the game after our initial start we were the better team.
But I thought during the second half we were able to get ourselves a foothold in the game when we started passing and playing through them, and we got our rewards in the end.
Do you see Aldershot as promotional contenders this season?
Cut.
Defeat for Tranmere gave Forest Green Rovers the chance to leap to the summit of the National League. Mark Cooper's men were on a 5-game winning streak and up against a Chester team they had beaten in their last 7 meetings. Not much to encourage the home fans at the Diva Stadium, and they would have felt even less optimistic after 24 minutes. Goalkeeper John Warsnup failing to deal with Liam Noble's free kick. Noble's first for Rovers since joining from Notts County. Forest Green have been full of goals recently and put 5 past Southport on Monday. They doubled their advantage 7 minutes into the second half. Intricate approach play, finding Darren Carter, who showed his class with a delightful finish. Chester gave the visitors something to sweat about with 11 minutes left. A great turn and finish from Elliot Durrell to reduce the deficit, but they couldn't find a second. Forest Green go back to the top of the table for the first time since January.
Having suffered a shock defeat at Sutton on Monday, Dagenham and Redbridge were desperate to preserve their perfect home record against a Boreham Wood team, winless in 5 matches. There were plenty of familiar faces in attendance on non-league day, BT Sports' David James among them. And the former England goalkeeper will have been impressed by what he saw from Boreham Wood's Grant Smith. Jordan Maguire drew the player denied here. Luke Garrard's side grew in stature as the game went on and secured a shock lead 4 minutes into the second half. The cross from Angelo Belanta was perfect. Morgan Ferrier applied the finish to the first goal the Daggers have conceded at home this season. John Still's side almost responded straight from the restart, but Fajiri Okanabiri's effort rolled just wide. Oliver Hawkins scored a hat-trick against Wrexham last weekend, but not even he could help Daggers, who were experiencing a bad day at the office. By contrast, a superb away performance from Boreham Wood was completed in the final minute, and in sumptuous style. Former Braintree captain Kenny Davis driving one into the top corner. The first ever meeting between these teams, and it's Boreham Wood that take home all 3 points.
Oh, a massive win. We knew how good they were. We worked on them all week. Felt they had a lot of strengths and we tried to exploit their weaknesses, but their home record's phenomenal. But you look at us now, that's 4 games away from home, 2 wins and 2 draws. So on the road, we ain't too bad ourselves.
We understand the highs and lows of it. It's not anything that phases me. Young players are going to be up and down. The more you work with them, we think they're genuinely good players, so we think the more we work with them, gradually the ups and downs won't be maybe so high, but not so low.
This turned out to be Andy Bishop's final game in charge of Southport. The player-manager was dismissed after the match, leaving the club in search of their 9th manager in just over 3 years. The worst defence in the division was breached after just 2 minutes. Sammy Moore with the ball in, Ricky Modeste's deflected header finding its way into the corner to put Dover in front, his first goal since April. Chris Kinnear's team found the back of the net again before the interval, but Ryan Crump's blushes were spared by referee Stephen Rushton, who blew for a foul on the Southport keeper. And soon after, it was Southport's turn to be denied by the officials. John Coffey flicking home, but from an offside position, Dover's lead remaining intact. Another heart-in-mouth moment for Bishop and the home fans. Crump unable to keep hold of the ball. Ricky Miller manoeuvring a chance, cleared off the line by Neil Ashton. Southport continued to press after the interval, but it wasn't to be their day. In what would be his last interview, Bishop gave little indication that he and the club would be parting company.
Yeah, I'm gutted for the lads. They've pushed and pushed and pushed. We just couldn't get that breakthrough. It's enough. I'll have to go a goal behind after 2 minutes. But after that, I thought the lads were different class on the second half. We've knocked and we've knocked. I don't think they've got it out of their half. It's cruel, really. It's cruel for the lads. I've told them to keep their heads up, keep going. If we play like that and put performance in like that, we'll win more than lose.
A bottom of the table clash at Nethermore Park. Visitors Braintree had managed just 1 victory this season, but life is even gloomier for Guiseley. 7 defeats out of 7 so far, and Adam Lockwood still in caretaker charge following the sacking of Mark Bauer. The clearest chance of the first 45 minutes fell to Jordan Preston, but he could only fire wide. The young Scottish forward was enjoying himself down Guiseley's right. This shot almost squeezed in at Sam Besant's near post, but the woodwork came to the rescue. Braintree were better after the break, but the best they could muster was this effort from midfielder Ches Isaac, who'll have better days in front of goal. So Guiseley stopped the rot at least and earned their first point of the season. Could it be a crucial first step for Lockwood and his players?
I can only thank them for the application and the thought and how they wanted to improve. And for me, if we maintain it as much as we possibly can and keep standards high, then who knows. You give yourself half a chance of winning a game of football.
Woking arrived at Moss Rose hoping they'd turned a corner after picking up their first win of the season against Chester on Bank Holiday Monday. They faced a Macclesfield side who feel a playoff spot is a realistic target after an encouraging start to the season. Oliver Norburn's 93rd minute winner saw the Silkmen overcome Solihull on Monday, and they took the lead after 28 minutes here. Danny Whittaker sweeping in after good work from makeshift right back Nicky Byrne. And just 10 minutes later, Macclesfield made it 2 after more good work down the right. Chris Holroyd with the neat ball through to Danny Rowe, who finished with aplomb, his second goal of the campaign. Gary Hill's team have made their worst start to a season since they were relegated in 2009, but they managed to halve the deficit with half an hour remaining. Denon Lewis with this crisp effort to give the Surrey club hope. But in truth, John Askey's side were always in control and they sealed the victory in injury time. Rowe's tenacity causing chaos before the ball dropped to Holroyd, who tapped in the goal his performance deserved. Macclesfield sneak into the top 5, but Woking's miserable start to the season continues.
Ronnie Moore's appointment as Eastleigh manager has had the desired effect, with 2 wins out of 2 over the bank holiday weekend, including Monday's 5-0 drubbing of Bromley. And the dream start continued inside 4 minutes against North Ferriby as Andy Drury ghosted into the box unmarked to meet Jake Howell's teasing cross, the 3rd of the season for the veteran midfielder. Moore's presence appears to have breathed a newfound confidence into the ambitious Hampshire side. Only a smart stop from Rory Watson prevented Howells from making it 2. Just after half-time, though, the decisive second goal did come. Reda Johnson rising highest to power home this header. It's the second time in a week that the former Coventry defender has been on target. North Ferriby manager Steve Howsham once again bemoaned his side's failure to be clinical in front of goal. This tidy turn from Connor Robinson perhaps deserved a better finish as the heavens opened. As for Ronnie Moore, though, 3 wins from 3, with 9 scored and none conceded. His perfect start to life at Eastleigh continues.
I thought it was a scrappy game today. I don't think we've played well today, to be fair, but we've ground out the result. It's been windy, it's been rainy, but we're a threat from set players, and we've seen Edmund Reader scores that second goal just after half-time, which eased the pressure on us a little bit.
York City have gone a whole year without winning on the road, but they're a different proposition at Bootham Crescent, undefeated at home before entertaining a Solihull side who'd suffered back-to-back defeats. The goals of Richard Brodie are going to be crucial if York are to return to the Football League at the first time of asking. The striker made it 5 in 5 games here. His powerful header opening the scoring after 9 minutes. The home side missed a host of chances in the second half, but it was a late flurry of goals that sealed victory. First, Aidan Connolly made it 2 on 84 minutes, blasting past Daniel Lewis in the Solihull goal after good work from Alex Whittle. 5 minutes later, the Solihull backline failed to deal with the pace of Kane Felix, the 21-year-old squaring for Scott Fenwick to convert with ease. York hit 4 in last week's hammering of Woking, and they repeated the feat in injury time. The impressive Connolly coolly bagging his second of the day to complete the rout. That's 3 defeats on the bounce now for Solihull, but a job well done for Jackie McNamara's men.
Delighted, clean sheet, 4 goals at home again. Could have been a lot more today. We left a few goals to the end. A little bit nervous, we're not getting that second goal earlier, but credit to the lads, and I thought the subs made a real difference as well today when they came on.
When Maidstone hosted Wrexham in the FA Cup in 2014, the clubs were separated by 2 divisions, but they met as equals this weekend after successive promotions for the Kent side. Ben Greenhalgh was once on the books of Inter Milan after winning a TV talent competition. This free kick, which put Maidstone ahead after 21 minutes, would certainly have graced the San Siro. Wrexham, however, hit back 5 minutes before half-time. Callum Powell evading the home defence before slotting in from 18 yards, his first goal for the club. Gary Mills had given Powell his first start of the season after using him as sub in the opening 7 games. The winger repaid the manager's faith as he gave Wrexham the lead on 66 minutes, the 20-year-old in the right place at the right time, to the delight of the travelling army. Maidstone had put the disappointment of last Saturday's 4-1 home defeat to Forest Green behind them with a 1-0 victory at Boreham Wood on Monday. They ensured the points were split here as Liam Enver-Maroon capitalised on Curtis Tilt's mistake, the former Oxford City man bagging a debut goal for the Stones 6 minutes after stepping off the bench. A point each, a fair result on the day, but it cost both sides league places. Wrexham dropped to 13th, Maidstone 15th.
Back-to-back wins had given Barrow the chance to climb into the playoff places if they could pick up 3 more points against a Bromley side who'd failed to keep a clean sheet all season and conceded 5 at Eastleigh last time out. It was the visitors who made the worst possible start. Rob Swain's untimely slip allowed Byron Harrison a clear opportunity, and the forward made no mistake, his second goal in a week. Barrow were on the front foot in the second half and should have wrapped up victory, but somehow a combination of Swain and Alan Julian kept out efforts from Richie Bennett and Jordan Williams. And Paul Cox's side were duly made to pay for those missed opportunities in the closing stages. Bromley manager Neil Smith sent on Blair Turgott, and within 5 minutes, the West Ham Academy graduate expertly controlled Joel Dixon's fluffed clearance before making the finish look easy.
Sutton travelled to Gateshead in impressive form, having won 4 of their previous 5, including Monday's victory over high-flying Dagenham and Redbridge. As for the Heed, they were looking to bounce back from a disappointing 3-0 defeat at Lincoln last time around. But it was Sutton in yellow who created the better opportunities in a tight game. First, Kevin Amankwa headed just wide. And minutes later, Nicky Bailey was unlucky to see his effort hooked off the line before Bedsinti Gomis failed to convert the follow-up. Gateshead star striker Ryan Bowman was sold to Motherwell on deadline day. forcing Neil Aspin to bring in cover in the shape of Rhys Oates. And it took the Hartlepool loanee just 5 minutes to open his accounts, sliding home after Jamal Fifield had cut through the Sutton defence. Undeterred, the visitors came back once again. Team Beckwith diverting the ball onto the bar after this goalmouth scramble. In the end, a single goal was enough to separate the sides. Gateshead's first win in 4.
Let's take a look at how the National League table looks then after this weekend's games. And Tranmere have relinquished their top spot for the first time this season after a losing start to September. Gary Rabin picking up the Manager of the Month award for August after an unbeaten start, but defeat against Aldershot. Forest Green with 6 wins on the bounce means they go top of the table. Lincoln moving up to 3rd place after their win against Torquay. The bottom half of the table looks like this. And York, after that 4-0 win, moves them to 14th place. Torquay in 16th, and the first point of the season for Guiseley at the bottom. Alongside me is former Torquay manager Chris Hargreaves. Chris, after 8 games then, how do you think the table is shaping up?
Well, I know one thing for sure. Danny Cowley will be a happy man on the coach driving home. I think looking at teams like Tranmere, so much expectation. You can't win every week. It's how they react. It's disappointing to lose, but the team that beat them, Aldershot, they were my outside shout for getting in those playoffs. And in Gary Waddock, I think they've got a very good manager.
Is it how you thought the table would look at this stage of the season?
Yeah, about. I thought that York might struggle. Don't get me wrong. I know how hard it is to drop down into the out of the Football League, and it's so difficult to string results together. You almost have to change your mentality. And so they've probably surprised me in how much they've struggled. But honestly, it's so early to judge at this point, I think.
Disappointment for Dagenham and Redbridge as well. One of the favourites for the league, and 2 defeats on the bounce.
Yeah, I really enjoyed John's company last week. Spent about half an hour in the office after the game, and he's just got such a vitality about him still after all these years. And he'll be disappointed, but he's experienced it enough. I would expect them to be in and around it still.
You watched today's game, of course, Torquay against Lincoln, and a cruel way for Torquay to lose the game. Do you think Lincoln deserved the 3 points there?
It was a cruel way, but again, looking at the momentum that Lincoln have got and the way that you can sometimes win football matches, it stands them in great stead, because to win it at that point in a game it gives you such a boost. So it'll be a nice trip home to Lincoln tonight. But for Kev, I feel for him. He's got a tough job, but it's a great job. So you sometimes have to remind yourself that.
Chris, thank you very much for your thoughts. Well, our live coverage of the National League continues next Saturday when our cameras go to the Crabble for 2 teams who were in the playoffs last year. They go head-to-head. It's Dover against Forest Green. That is on BT Sport 1 from 11:45, and it's in ultra-high definition. That is all we've got time for this week. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again soon.
Look the part, play the part. Yakko sponsors Vanarama National League on BT Sport.